Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday morning's self-healing class. We just begin with some very, very gentle exercises. So the idea is that we'll do 10 minutes of exercises, which same exercise that I start every class I do with. And so we do these 10 minutes of exercises. If you're watching the video, you can just skip forward to the meditation section if you wish. But I really do recommend you do the exercises if you possibly can. There's another aspect as well, is that you can do the exercises in a very small way, but also just use your mind to complete the exercise. So for instance, we're just going to turn and look back over the shoulder. Perhaps you can only make a tiny turn, but you can imagine looking back over the shoulder. So we allow our mind to do a lot of the work for us. We can do a small, moderate part of the exercise, and then we can make it the rest of the exercise with our mind. So just release the waist and allow the body to turn from side to side. So we're slowly starting to work with Dr. Pang's 5 organ healing sounds. Last week's video just had some of the very basic stuff in it, but we'll go across it again, just in case you missed out on that. So the first question would be, why use healing sounds at all? And for me, the answer comes from Nikola Tesla. And he says, if you want to understand the nature of the universe, first look at, I'm sorry, I don't remember the quote, something like, energy, vibration. He doesn't use the word chi, but he should do. Energy and vibration. And so vibration being the key word in this context here, one of the most fundamental movements of the entire universe. Everything in our universe is vibrating, be it vibrating in a very, 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 very slow frequency or at a very, very high frequency. But our whole universe is a vibration. It doesn't seem that to us because we're part of the whole story, so we're kind of like, fixed into it, and everything around us seems very kind of, solid. So how can that be a vibration? But if you imagine that's a vibration over the space of 1,000 years, then we see that buildings start to fall to pieces if we don't look after them. So we need to think about vibrations in different terms. Very solid vibrations, very slow, easy vibrations that last for a long, long time, and other vibrations that are just gone here in a moment and gone in a moment later. So this is one of the key ideas, this idea that vibration in our body is filled with vibrations. So we find that if we go onto YouTube, you can find binaural beats, which are good for your brain, which cycle at, I can't remember, 433 megahertz, that kind of thing. Our brain works at that. We find that there's frequencies in our bodies which we can't even detect, which are 125 megahertz, but they're also, useful for our body. And very often we find, I just suddenly came to mind as well, the Russian cosmonauts who used to use vibration plates in the space station. That's just a thing you stand on, but it vibrates your whole body at different frequencies, and it just moves it, and you get a sort of like a vibration running through your body. But it's seen as being a way of stimulating everything inside your body. And so we do the sound, and the best thing about it, of course, is that our bodies have our own kind of wavelength generator built into them, which is so fantastic. And that's your voice. So you're able to use your voice to vibrate your body. Your voice box is a fantastic tool that can send vibrations through the body. So when we make the sounds of Zhejiang Qigong, we ask the question, are we singing to an organ, or are we singing from an organ? Doesn't really matter. We've got the organ in mind. And so we're just kind of like, so if you're making a sound for the spleen, So does that come from your voice box and go down to your spleen? Gang, so sing it down at the spleen? Or does this sound emit from your spleen? So it's just a little break in recording there as my internet did something funny. But as I was saying, you're tapping onto your spleen on one side, you're tapping onto your liver on the other side, tapping onto your kidneys round the back. As we tap onto these organs, we're sending a vibration through. We're vibrating through our bodies. And so the sounds that we make during the organ system sounds are exactly the same kind of idea as what's going on here, as the tapping. So just keep your shoulders relaxed, keep your knees relaxed, tap the body gently, and we're just going to change the exercise slightly. We're going to stretch out a little bit further. So slow down and open out. Look back over the shoulders. Okay, so we've just warmed up our spine by rotating it, warmed up our internal organs by tapping onto them, got the body moving. Lovely. So now we're just going to let this exercise slow to a stop. Not fast, just gently, bit by bit, slowly, slowly, comes to a stop. Great. Let's gather some chi. So we can just balance ourselves out by lifting chi up and pouring chi down through the body. Gently draw chi from the head, deep into the chest, deep into the belly. Let the hands relax and flow down the legs, deep into the earth. Lift and gather, and gently pull. Lift and gather, and gently pull. Draw the chi into the center of your chest, into the center of your belly, through your hips, deep into your legs. Okay, so having rotated our spine, the next thing we do is forward and back bend our spine. Okay, so very simple exercise. Just stretch hands up into the blue sky. You can let your knees and hips drift forward. You can softly lean back a little bit. Open up the front of your chest. And up. Gently lean back. Stretch up. Gently lean back. Stretch up. Back. Good. Hands up into the blue sky. Okay, so we don't push our arms against our ears. We keep a space between our arms and our ears. And then we gently tip over just the head and the neck. So the arms kind of follow the ears until the neck is properly bent over. And then we start to roll into the upper back, middle back, lower back. Keep your knees soft. So just keep the knees nice and soft. Let the body relax. Okay, extend gently down towards your toes and just feel the stretch that develops in the back of the leg. And then release. In line with the roots of your toes. So just going a little bit deeper. And release. Imagine a line between your insteps. Stretch towards that line. And release. Imagine a line between your heels. Just go deep, stretch there. And release. Let the body hang and relax. Okay, lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Roll the spine up. Bring up the head, the arms, and the ears. Stretch up, blue sky chi. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and up, back. Stretch up, back, and up, back. Oh, hands up in the blue sky. Okay, forward again, so it's just the arms and ears first. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Let the body hang and relax. Okay, let's extend softly towards our toes and release. In line with the roots of our toes, down and release. In line with our insteps, gradually getting a little bit deeper each time and release. Back towards the heels. Relax and release. Let the body hang. Tailbone lifts up behind. Tailbone pushes to the front. Spine rolls up. Head, arms and ears gently roll up. Stretch out, blue sky cheek. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and stretch up. Back and stretch up. Back and stretch up. Back. Okay, hands up in the blue sky. So we can try and do the next ones with our legs locked straight. So try to lock the knees. Take over the arms and ears. And we start to bend the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. Just let the body hang and relax. Tummy is tucked in, body hangs and relaxes. Sink gently to the toes and release. In line with the roots of our toes. Release. In line with our insteps. Release back towards our heels. Good, body relaxes and hangs. Point the tailbone up into the blue sky behind. Swing the tailbone to the front of the body, straighten the spine up one vertebra at a time. Gently lift, gently lift, gently lift, gently lift up. And stretch up. Knees and hips can drift softly forwards as you lean gently backwards and up. Backwards. Stretch up. Backwards and up. Backwards. Up. Right. Last time, nice straight legs if possible. Arms and ears tip over. Upper back. Middle back. Lower back. Let the body hang and relax. Back and neck soft and relaxed. Legs nice and straight. Sinking down towards the toes. And release. In line with the roots of our toes. And release. In line with our insteps. And release. Back towards our heels. Relax, release, let the body hang. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push tailbone to the front. Roll the spine up. Head, arms and ears. Stretch up, stretch up. Drift the knees and hips forward. You lean back. Back and up. Back. Stretch up. Back. Oh, hands up in the blue sky. Let the hands just come over the crown of the head. We can just let the hands gently pour chi down through the body for a moment. Release the hands down the sides. Let's gather chi, lift chi up. Pour chi down. Draw the chi down through the body, focusing the chi deep into the belly. Lift and gather. Gently pull. Lift and gather. Gently pull. Draw the chi down, deep inside. We finish off this morning's gentle exercises with some side bends. So we've rotated the spine, then we've bent the spine forwards and backwards. Now we're just going to bend sideways. And when you keep your spine in good health, it's all about really keeping yourself youthful. Okay, so draw the right hand up into the blue sky. Breathing in. As we breathe out, we head across to the left. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap the hands over. Breathe in, stretch up. Exhale and go to the right. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, lift up. Head to the left. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. Head across. Lifting the left hand up. Swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. And head left. Breathe in. Swap over. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in, lift both hands up. And breathe out, draw your hands gently down. Let's gather some chi. Pour chi down. This is about moving any excess energy out of the head, drawing any excess energy deep into the center of your chest. Move it deep into the belly where we store our energy. Relax the hands, let the chi flow down. And gently pull. Gather. And pull. Draw the chi deep into the pit of the belly. Release the hands, let the chi flow. Let's do it one more time and bring our hands onto the belly. Pour down, draw down, sink chi down. Connect deep inside. Let the hands settle on the belly button. Well, we've got the whole body moving, blood and chi flowing well through the body. Every muscle open and stretched out. Body's feeling relaxed and ready to do our standing practice. Well, you don't have to do this standing. You can also do it sitting or lying down. But Dr. Pang really recommends standing. He says that it's the best way for really gathering chi into the body. So the feet as parallel as possible, the knees gently bent, the tailbone sitting down, and the tailbone drawing towards the front of the body. Between the legs is an acupuncture point called Hui Yin. We say, lift Hui Yin, lift Bai Hui. So the top of the head raises up into the blue sky, the point between the legs raises up and just gently closes the kind of basin of your torso, as it were. So lift Hui Yin, lift Bai Hui. Gently draw the chin back towards the spine, gently tuck the tailbone towards the front of the body, and then sit into this standing posture. Shoulders relaxed. Whole body is relaxed. So we sustain this posture for as long as we can. If you need to sit down halfway through, that's no problem. So as I say, today we're working with Dr. Pang's 8 phrases. Sorry, first of all, we're going to do Dr. Pang's 8 phrases, then we're going to use some of his sacred sounds. Okay, so the 8 phrases is a little setup poem that he created that encapsulates everything you need to know about 𝐸𝐴𝐸. I'm going to sing it for you in Chinese and then I'll translate it for you. So it goes like this. 头天彻 Connect your feet into the earth, beyond the earth into the blue sky, beyond the blue sky out into the universe. From your head up into the blue sky, up into the heavens, beyond out into the universe. Forwards and backwards, left and right. We expand in every direction to experience universal chi. When we do this, it's not obvious what's inside and what's outside anymore. We take on this deep inner quiet. It brings about a deep inner peace. We allow no distracting thoughts. Keep the mind quiet, steady, empty, like a mirror reflecting. So the outside world may come knocking, as it were. But you gently just reflect it back. When we do this, we allow our whole bodies to soften out into the chi field. We become one with the energy of nature, one with the energy of the universe. We can draw energy back from the universe, bring this healing chi deep inside us. We can absorb chi from nature around us, bring it deep into every cell of our body. As we do so, we heal ourselves. This is the way that we heal ourselves. We let go of the stories. We let go of the problems. We let go of bad relationships. We let go of bad work, whatever it might be, whatever it is that brings us problems. We decide that in this safe space, in this 𝐸𝐴𝐸 qigong chi field, that we can allow ourselves to relax and let go. We return ourselves back to our original chi. So we have this ability to expand out into the universe. We have this ability to draw chi back from the universe and draw it deep inside our bodies. Just feel yourself as a universal being, able in one moment to open and dissolve into the chi field, and in the next moment gather this healing chi back to reconstitute a perfect working body for yourself. Think of a time when everything was going well, when your body was in perfect working order. Just allow yourself to feel like that again. Just allow yourself to feel perfect, healthy, strong, virile, beautiful. Just allow all of these things to percolate through your body. Your brain creates these beautiful images. You at a happy time, you in a good place, you in a good moment. And your body sees that and responds to that. Oh, that's how we can be. And then your body starts to move back towards that. So keep a positive image of yourself. Stay in this chi field state where everything can shift and change. Dr. Pang is apt to say, change your mind, change your life. So let's feel into this idea. Stay in as positive a state as we possibly can and just allow ourselves to gently change back to the way we want to be. It's not difficult. Just let go. Just release. Just be here at the present moment, deep inside your body, and think about those changes gently taking place at a cellular level, at a DNA level, at a mind level, at a family story level. We're just unraveling the old stories and letting go. We join in a chi field together. I connect with you, you connect with me. In 𝐸𝐴𝐺 Qigong, we just say, no time, no space. Doesn't matter whether you're connected to this video in a year's time, 2, 5, 10, however long, doesn't matter. When you connect into this video, you're still connecting into the chi field with all of the 𝐸𝐴𝐺 Qigong practitioners around the globe, Dr. Pang, all the teachers, this vast repository of good information. So you can absorb this healing information deep into your body. But also, the nice thing is that you're giving your healing information to the field as well. So maybe you might think, oh goodness, I haven't got any healing information to give. But your hands are working well, or your feet are working well, you've got good knees, a good brain, whatever it is. There's parts of you that can be fantastic for other people. And so you give your great healing information to the field, and you can receive the healing information you need. The people who have gone before you have healed from the things that you are working with at the moment. And you can absorb that healing information. Feel that your body has got this new blueprint, this new healing plan, that everything is shifting and changing. Now, in a moment, change your mind, change your life. Let it go, let it be, let it happen. This is Dr. Pang's 8 phrases, a very kind of powerful way for us to work our way into this healing sounds exercise. So yes, so in level 3 of 𝐸𝐴𝐺 Qigong, Dr. Pang developed these sounds. Nothing new. Through traditional Qigong, there have always been things like the 6 sacred sounds or the 5 sounds of Qi. There's all sorts of structures from Buddhism and Taoism, possibly Confucianism, I don't know, that have used the sounds as well. And so he's just building on the work of other people. But it's been known for thousands of years that singing and chanting is powerful for the body. And in the tone, in the chanting kind of aspect, I remember seeing a wonderful photograph that was taken. It was a little camera that was placed inside the vein of a guru. And they took a photograph of his red blood cells. And as they did so, you could see all these little red corpuscles just kind of like stuck together in little clumps going through his veins. 3 here, 2 there, 4 there, little sort of clumps of blood vessels. And then they said to him, please chant Om 40 times. So he chanted Om, and then they took the next photograph, and all of the blood vessels, all the blood corpuscles had now disconnected from each other and were flowing evenly, careful, flowing evenly in his vein. So it was very beautiful to see that he just said Om 40 times, and he had actually changed the consistency of his blood. So to think that sound doesn't affect our body, why do we like to go to concerts? Why do we like sort of, bass music, deep vibration through the body, the sound of the kettle drum, boom, boom. We get very excited by music and we get very excited by vibration in general because we are vibration. So this is why monks chant. This is why um, Dr. Pang has created his version of the sacred sounds effectively. And he's become very, very refined with it to find exactly which sound works for exactly which organ. So one of the key aspects to the sacred sounds is finding our way to Hunyuan Palace. So very often you hear me refer to middle dantian, which is the middle energy field in the center of the body. And that's very much on a kind of chi level. But now we're talking about Hunyuan Palace, which is more or less in the same place. They're just slightly different levels, perhaps, and perhaps slightly different depths in the body. But now we're talking about Hunyuan Palace. And Hunyuan Palace sits behind the breastbone, and it sits right in the center of the organs. So it's a gathering place for the energy that helps our organs to function better. So we're going to find Hunyuan Palace by saying ling, 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 ling. So you make this little ling at the end and you make it bounce up, ling. And when you do that, to make the sound ling, 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 you'll feel, so put your hands onto your diaphragm for a moment and just say ling, 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 ling. You can feel your diaphragm has to move in order to make that. And so we just put our hands over the breastbone. We're just going to say ling, ling about 6 times and see if you can visualize where that sound is pointing to or coming from. Doesn't matter, it's not important. It's just about locating the area. And this is how we find Hunyuan Palace. The Hunyuan, it's called Hunyuan Chao. It's the gathering of Hunyuan Qi. So when Dr. Pang talks about the Qi of the universe, he talks about Hunyuan Qi. And he basically says that Hunyuan Qi is the sort of undifferentiated energy of the entirety of the universe. And we can gather this Hunyuan Qi deep into the center of our body. And then the tones change the Hunyuan Qi to work in each organ. Okay, so let's try our ling, ling. Let's take a breath in. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. Ling, ling. So by now you should start to be feeling the height of ling in the body. Where does it actually, what's the level of ling? When you start to get the level of ling up and down, as it were, on the breastbone, then we can start to feel the depth of ling as well. How deep into the body is this Hunyuan Palace? Okay, so breathe in. We'll do ling, ling again. Ling, 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 ling. So for me, it feels like it's behind the breastbone and possibly, I don't know, um, 2 sun, so this measurement of the knuckle to the first finger, maybe that deep inside. Okay, so we're going to use a tone that kind of harmonizes and brings focus into the center of the body. And it's so this is very simple, open. It's about the most simple sound you can make. You're hardly even moving your diaphragm at all. But it's opening the mouth. That tone develops into so Wong is W-O-N-G, but W-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-O-N-G. So it's It starts with the mouth gently, sort of softly, almost close. We're saying oh, for our first tone. And then the W opens and starts to develop, and the whole mouth opens. And then it starts to close. And then when we get to the NG on the end, that's the tone kind of turning itself inside your body. So it's almost like humming NG inside. So this tone we're going to use wah, okay, so and then the bit at the end. And then the next part of the tone is ching. Ching. And that also has on the end, which goes inside the body. Ching. So all of these tones, or most of them, end in NG. So the NG bit is seen as being this kind of like returning of the tone deep inside the body. So it goes from oh, which is open, to which is deeply gathering inside. So we say uh, breath. Ching also goes back inside. Wang, ching. So hold the hands over Hunyuan Palace on the breastbone. And we'll say Wang, ching. So try to allow this tone Wang to develop inside your mouth. It's like the whole inside of your mouth, and you don't have to open your lips really wide, but it feels like the upper palate pushes up, the tongue flattens down, cheeks move aside. I don't know. So the size, inside your mouth suddenly goes. Ooh, the cavity inside your mouth grows, and the tone. So it expands open, and then it contracts close inside your mouth. And I think that this is how, if you've ever heard Mongolian overtone singing, because as you do this, you will hear a little harmonic vibration in the tone. So you hear a kind of, I can't do it any justice, but you might just hear it as you change and you move through the tone. You might hear the little harmonic resonance. Not important, but you just sometimes pick it up and think, oh, there's an extra kind of almost like a whistling tone in there. Okay, all right, so we're going to do Wang Ching. And Wang Ching brings us back to Hunyuan Palace. It just kind of harmonizes everything in the chi field inside the body. Wang Ching. Breathe in. So I was going through that tone all in one breath there. And for some of Dr. Pang's tones, there's a little break in the tone where you can take a breath in and then carry on with the third part of the tone. So I'm just trying to feel into whether I prefer it as Wong and a short interim breath, Jing, or if it works better as all one tone. You can try that as well, see what you feel. Breathe in. Just two more times. So as it's springtime, we're going to start working with the liver. So whereas some of the tones are quite melodious, they kind of flow nicely like wong, ching. The liver has got quite an aggressive tone, and that is because the liver is all about anger. So in English, we have some sort of slightly old-fashioned phrase that's something like spitting out bile. Okay, so bile is the sort of the bitter liquid that's part of the gallbladder. And so I think, you might see it in the newspaper, the politician was spitting bile about somebody. So there's this idea that connected with the liver and gallbladder is this bitter liquid called bile. And that when you're, saying bad things, when you're angry, when you're shouting, that you're almost spitting the bile out of your liver. And so there's also this understanding that we hold this anger and we hold this bitterness deep inside our liver. And it's not unusual that we use the word bitter with, oh no, sorry, it's not. We use the word sour actually for liver because we're supposed to have things like lemons and radicchio, rucola, and bitter things like that at this time of year to keep the liver going, to work on the liver. Dandelion tea is very good for the liver. Okay, so we're working on cleansing our liver. What would be the issue with the liver? So your liver might hold onto anger. Some people have a very snap anger, where in a moment they're cross, in a moment it's past, like a lightning strike. Some people live in a society where it's not appropriate for them to express their anger. Or perhaps they're young and they're not allowed to express their anger. Or perhaps they live in a society where people tell them to push the anger down inside. And the more you push it down inside, the more it stuffs your liver and your gallbladder. I went to Xi'an in China, and I was amazed to find a class of 100 people working on their gallbladder stones. And the teacher said to me, it's because we have a very fatty diet in China. We gather a lot of gallbladder stones. But I think there's also an aspect to it, is that you're not allowed to say anything against the government. You're not allowed to speak out. You have to quite literally swallow your anger. And so I think that anger builds up in Chinese gallbladders as well as everybody else's gallbladders. And so we use this tone to dissipate that. And the tone is tu. You spit it out. Tu, tu, tu. You're literally spitting out your anger. Tu. Oh, and I hiccup there. So very often you burp because you're actually triggering the liver. So by using the tone tu, it makes your diaphragm jump. And because your diaphragm jumps, your liver jumps. The liver qi moves, and you get this kind of explosion of energy. And sometimes it becomes a burp, sometimes it becomes a hiccup, gulp. And sometimes it can become other things as well, which I won't go into the details, but I can imagine you can work out for the digestive system what other things might occur. So we're spitting out the anger. Okay, I wanted to go around one last loop when we talk about liver. When we hold all this bile inside and we don't express the anger, what tends to happen is that this can become a problem for the cleansing of our body, because the liver is very good at cleansing our blood and things like that. And what tends to happen is that we have lots of toxins that go into our lymph system that need to be cleansed. Okay, and so the lymph system, when it runs in the legs, it runs all over the body, runs up the sides, runs underneath the armpits, past the breast, on the arms and so forth. And so when we're trying to get rid of all of these toxins inside, which might be years of anger, we often find that people who have held anger inside for years and years can find that they suddenly have breast cancer. And that's to do with the lymph nodes underneath, just right beside the breast. So this is a toxin in the body that's circulating around and has affected other delicate areas of the body. So we have to get rid of this anger. Don't need it anymore. The person involved, get them out of your life. The anger involved, spit it out of your body. And the last thing I was going to say was that I've just read some recent articles about surgery involved in breast cancer, and they say, the surgeons very often remove the breast nodes, the lymph nodes, because they're, seen as being the site of they're at the site of the cancer, and apparently that's like saying the firemen must be bad people because every time you turn up at the fire, they're always there. So they must have been the ones who started it. And so we'll get rid of all the firemen. But we know that's not true, And so the lymph nodes are blamed for this. And in fact, actually, for healing, we desperately need our lymph nodes. So when doctors remove the lymph nodes, they're actually making more problems for the body rather than less. So we want to make sure we keep our lymph nodes and we keep ourselves healthy, and we keep our livers clean. So let's start with our liver tone and spit out some anger. So we can actually put our hands on our liver if we wish. So underneath the ribs on the right hand side. Okay, so take some breath in. Let's say two. Till you run out of breath. spit that anger out. Breathe in. Gentle breath in. Now we'll do a few more 2 breaths for the liver. Very good. Okay. Massage gently into your liver. So we move from spring. Okay, so just for the while, we're just working on the physicality of the body. So Dr. Pang creates 3 tones. And in the liver case, for instance, you say, spit it out for a while, then you take another breath in and you say, juling. And the idea of there being 3 tones is that 2 works on the physicality, ju works on the kind of chi level of the liver, and jing works on what would we call in ancient times, they were called the spiritual aspect of the liver. We can go into that in detail as the weeks commence, because I'm going to be doing this over the next few weeks. But at the moment, we're just working on the physicality. Cleans the liver. So we move from springtime season to summer season. Heart. And the heart has got a heart tone which is just shin, shin. Xin is the way that it's written in Chinese, but it sounds like shin. And if you know the English word shin, which is the front of your leg, shin. Hand on the heart. If you move your hands around, you'll actually find the vibration of shin in your heart. So it's perfectly pitched to vibrate the heart. And of course, we're talking about the physicality of the heart. So we're talking about the pericardium muscle around the heart, vibrating that, the little valves inside the heart, vibrating them, all of the cells inside the heart. So essentially what you're doing is reconditioning your heart, vibrating any of, we often hear about plaque on the walls of the arteries and things like that. So this vibration is going to break those down. It's going to vibrate them away. It's going to strengthen the muscles and so forth. So we use shin to condition our heart. Breathe in. A few more shins. Breathe deep. One more. Now we move on to spleen, which would be seen as the late summer. Just massage into the heart for a moment. So we have this kind of heart, nice, long, bright summer. And then as we get towards the end of summer, it suddenly gets quite sultry and kind of almost damp heat. And sometimes you have thunderstorms and things like that, and we think about that as being the spleen time. So we can move down to the left-hand side, left ribs, gently massage there. And the tone for this is gang. It's like the English word gang, G-A-N-G, but we say ga, open, and gather back in again. So the chi kind of expands inside the spleen and then goes back deep inside again. Okay, so gang. Take a breath in. Breathe deep. Breathe in. Massage the spleen if you wish while you're saying the tone. Two more. Breathe deep. Last one. So we move on to our lungs for autumn time. The lungs sit right up on the top of the shoulders here. We could have our hands on our lungs. You can cross arms, but I tend not to cross my arms. I just have my hands up here and just massage gently into the area. Or you can hold your hands just in front of your lungs. And for this we say sang. So like the word he sang a song, S-A-N-G, sang. The lungs, goodness, the lungs have all sorts of emotional stories, guilt, grief, shame, sadness, sorrow, all kept inside our lungs. So when we work with the other lung tones, it tends to vibrate them better and release the sort of emotional stuff. But we're very much working with the physicality of the lungs, keeping your lungs breathing well, keeping your lungs, and the spleen was about sort of filtering the blood as well. It's got quite a lot of kind of commonality with the liver, but the lungs are about filtering the air, of course, keeping the air moving well in your body, taking in lots of oxygen, the physicality of your lungs, expanding and contracting. Let's say sang for a few times. It's the same. Open, ah, and then go back in. Okay, breathe in. The lungs like the S tone, so you can start with hissing like a snake before we get into ang. Okay, so breathe in. Vibrating in the lungs. Breathe in. Breathe deep. Breathing in. One more time. Vibration deep inside the lungs to keep our lungs working well. Blood and chi flowing well in the lungs. And finally, we move into winter, and winter being the kidneys. So you can have your hands just gently placed on the ribs, just where the kidneys lie. And the kidneys have got a tone which is not dissimilar to the liver because they're sort of at the same level. When we say, and it's kind of like almost like a cough when someone sort of clears their throat, they go, so when we cough, you'll feel your whole diaphragm bounce. Put your hands on the front actually onto the diaphragm, onto the ribs here, and try saying E-H exclamation mark. And as you see, that whole diaphragm jumps, 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 and the kidneys jump, jump, jump behind, and they like that. So you can have your hands on the back and feel the ribs, or on the front and feel the ribs, doesn't matter. And we're going to cough out the kidney tone. So breathe in. Sometimes it does make you cough. Breathe in. Breathing in. Once more. Deep breath. One more. It's quite difficult to do. Gentle breathing can massage into the area with the kidneys. The kidney is all about urination, sexual function, but generally the energy of the body. So it's good to work on our kidneys. And then we've got a final drawing chi back into the body, into the Hunyuan Palace, and then distributing it out throughout all of the organs. We say Qing, Q-I-N-G, going deep inside. So, Qing. Say Qing with me. Breathe in. Qing. I think hands on Hunyuan Palace is best for this. Breathe in. Breathing in. Breathing in. One last breath. Just massage into the Hunyuan Palace. We'll say Qing one more time. Very good. Bring the feet together. Let the hands relax down by the sides. Whole body relaxed and open. Blood and chi flowing well through the whole body. Let's gather chi in a great big ball and bring it back to the belly and draw it deep inside the belly. Hold the chi in lower dantian. Lower dantian chi is abundant. Middle dantian chi is abundant. Hunyuan palace chi is abundant. We could bring the hands into the prayer position in front of Hunyuan palace. Let's just do a standard 𝐸𝐴𝐴 Qigong closing. So take the hands up in front of the face, over the top of the head, stretch up into the blue sky, open up the hands finger by finger, split the hands down to shoulder height, gather chi round to the front, send chi deep inside your brain. Feel your brain benefits from all these vibrations as well. Draw the hands back underneath the arms. Lightly touch underneath the arms a space called Da Bao. Send chi into the middle energy field. Hands go straight back behind with the palms facing up. Back of the hands move to the front of the body. Turn the palms over. Gather chi. Draw this chi round and bring this ball of chi back to lower dantian. Hold the chi deep inside. Lower dantian chi is abundant. Blood and chi flow well. An abundance of energy deep inside. Draw 3 circles round lower dantian to hold all this beautiful chi in your body. And then circle 3 times, opposite direction. Gathering, holding, securing this chi deep inside. Imagine you can take this beautiful ball of chi and send it up your spine into your brain, illuminate your brain, your neck, the whole of your spine. Illuminate your shoulders all the way down to your fingertips. Illuminate the upper, middle, and lower torso. Illuminate your hips and pelvis, hip joint, thighs, your knee joints, calves, your ankle joints, deep into your feet. And then we imagine the whole skin from the soles of the feet up, over the top and down the front. Your skin barrier in perfect working order. Down underneath, up and over the top. Your Wei Qi layer, this protected field of Qi you have around your body in perfect working order. And then your Qi body, which is a great big bubble, a meter in front, a meter behind, a meter left, right, up and down. Perfect. It protects you, but it connects you to the outside world. So see yourself as this beautiful being of light inside your shield of energy, completely safe. Everything in the body working well. These beautiful vibrations we've created in the body have vibrated chi all the way through the body. Blood and chi flow well through the body. All functions of the body, perfect working order. All functions, perfect. Put a big smile on your face. Slowly open your eyes. Shake out your hands, shake out your feet. Kick out if you need to kick. Stretch the body in any way you need to stretch, but come up very slowly if you're bending. Just move the body a little bit. We finish off our session by saying Hao La. Hao La means good already. Everything we've done, fixed. So put the hands up in the air. 1, 2, Hao La. 1, 2, Hao La. 1, 2, Hao La. Oh, lovely. A little salute for each other. Take the right hand up, left hand down. We pull the fingers together, thumbs go on the end. Really nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. And this will go up onto YouTube. Please spread it around. And I'll continue with the healing sounds over the next few weeks, building them up. So don't forget, practice your healing sounds. Vibrate deep inside. Thanks. Bye-bye.